Clown fan base, clown results, clown club, clown continent. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll discuss it after this.
Giroso Chocota que pone a correr a Falcao se detiene, Falcao.
Welcome to another episode of the Football Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Reginald Dino. Boy. People aren't going to like me for this show. I can tell you that right now. People aren't going to like me. They're not going to like what I have to say, but it has to be said. We'll get into it a little bit later in the show. Maybe we'll start off. I don't know. I'm extremely upset. As you can see, I'm wearing my TFC garb because what happened at BMO Field yesterday should never happen in a stadium. It's embarrassing. We want to be taken seriously as a continent, as a city, as a league. It's embarrassing, if you ask me. And people aren't going to agree with me. They're, Reggie, yeah, you're the you don't like fun. You don't like this. You don't like that. It's not about that. There's certain scenarios that can happen within a game that make the game either very important or meaningless. And if the game is meaningless, then everything I'm saying you can throw. I probably wouldn't be saying if it was the opposite. But it was a very important game at BMO Field last night for TFC. If you're a fan of TFC, well, from what I saw in the stadium, more than half the stands weren't fans of TFC in Toronto. But again, I'll dive into that a little bit later in the show. We'll talk about some news that's going on in football. There's a lot of things going on actually in Serie A that we're going to discuss. We'll take a look at the tables and the results for this past weekend for La Liga and the EPL. And we'll talk about the ending of the MLS season. Sorry. You know what, guys? I have to start in Toronto last night. Now, listen, this TFC team is a far cry from the teams that we had in 2017 and 2018, or 2016 and 2017. Far cry. Okay? When Javinko and Altidore and Bradley, Vasquez, and those guys were running the show here, it's very, very, very different. But you have to look at last year. Last year, we were the worst team in the league. John Herdman came in and we were one spot away from making the playoffs. There's a great improvement here, huge improvement from last season to this season. We had a game last night at BMO Field. Messi's coming to town. There's going to be a buzz. I get it. I 100% get it. Fans want to show Messi love. I get it. Go nuts. Do your thing. I get it. I 100% get it. You want to clap it? Clap him. But at the end of the day, Toronto FC had an opportunity to make the playoffs if they had won. And if you're a player on that TFC team, you're thinking to yourself, okay, we shit the bed on Wednesday. We lost 4-1 to New York. We still have an opportunity to make the playoffs. Mind you, things have to go our way. This team has to draw this team has to score this many goals. This team has to win. That team has to lose. Whatever the case may be. But you still have a chance. And where would you want that? Where do you think you would have the best chance to win that game? At home. You're playing a warm weather team in 11 degree Celsius weather. There's an advantage there. You're playing on a choppy garbage field because Argos play on it too, which is another thing that we'll talk about in another show because they need their own stadium. You can't share a field with these guys. They kill the field. The football players kill the field. That field was awful last night. Just looking at it was awful. Professionals should not be playing on that. Anyway, again, we'll talk about that another time. You have home weather advantage. You should have home field advantage. And what's the next best thing? You have your fans behind you. And 2 out of 3, usually 2 out of 3 isn't bad. But in this case, 2 out of 3 is awful, in my opinion. Now, you're going to have people out there that are going to say, oh, Reggie, calm down, whatever, who cares? The greatest player ever to walk the earth, which he's not. Messi is not the greatest player ever to play football, in my opinion. But you're going to have people out there that are going to say, oh, yeah, blah, 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 he's here, blah, 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 calm down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. I'm a TFC fan, though. Okay? As much as I rip TFC, as much as I say I don't want to go to the games, as much as I, say this and I say that about TFC, I still want them to win games. I still want them to be successful. Provide a brand of soccer that I'm proud to say I am a TFC. I'm proud to wear this. Where is this thing? I'm proud to wear this. I'm proud to wear this. Where is it? Proud to wear this. Proud to have this on the back of my hat. 17, the year we won. Proud to have it. Let's get 24, 25, 26 on it as well. I'm proud to have it. I'm a fan. If I was at the game, I said I wasn't going to the game. If you listen to another episode that I made a couple of months back called Responsibility, I didn't think Messi was even going to get on the plane to come. And if he did come, I thought he was going to be sitting in the stands watching the game. I didn't think he was going to play. So that's why I didn't make any effort to get tickets to go watch it. Plus, I hate going down to BMO. It's a pain in the ass. If you live in Toronto, you know. If I was at the stadium, though, no problem. Okay, Messi's here. Okay, if everyone, okay, clap. Fantastic. 30 seconds applause, a minute applause max. Okay, cool, he's here. But at the end of that, TFC, it's time to stick it to him. Let's get back on our TFC. Let's get our TFC hat back on and let's beat these guys because we need this game to make the playoffs. Nope. I'd say 60, 65%. I wasn't at the game, so I shouldn't say percentages of things, but I would, by watching it on TV, and if I'm incorrect, guys, message me. If you were there, message me. Let me know I'm wrong. But I would say more than 50% of the stadium wasn't there to see TFC play. They were there to see Messi. There's people, there's a TikTok thing going around or an Instagram post going around. There was more Messi jerseys than TFC jerseys. There's so many Inter Miami, there's so many Inter Miami fans. So many Inter Miami jerseys. So many Argentinian jerseys. I get it. If you're Argentinian and you haven't seen Messi and this is your opportunity to get, guys, I understand. But just know you're in your home team's yard. And your home team needs you to help get them over the line to possibly get a playoff spot. How would you feel if you're a player? You're Jonathan Osorio, your hometown team, you're the captain of it. You're going into the game, it's going to be a circus. It's going to be a little bit of a circus. Messi's in town. It's going to be a little bit of a circus. But in the end, we're going to have all of our fans behind us, pushing us to get that goal. And not have it happen. Clown fan base. This is a clown fan base. And if we're going to be, if we want to sit there and try to be taken seriously throughout the world, this shit has to stop. It has to stop. We're so starved to see these players play that we'll throw our own team under the bus to watch 30 minutes of the guy. I get it. Again, I get it. It's Messi. Everyone loves Messi. I get it. But in the end, we have to be TFC fans. In the end. Don't we? Or do we not want our home team to actually win the game and see if possibly we get into the playoffs? We don't want that. We're a fan base, and again, it's not everybody. I don't lump everybody in. Not everybody. There's fans there that probably wanted TFC to win, and fans there that were disappointed when they didn't win because now they're out of the playoffs. I get it. There's fans out there like that. But the majority of the fans were not there to see TFC win or hope TFC wins. They were there to watch Lionel Messi. You want to cheer like that and watch Lionel Messi? flights to Miami aren't that expensive. You can take your Inter Miami jersey with you and you can go watch the games there or go watch a game there. I think a buddy on my team, my outdoor team, actually went to Miami to watch a game that Messi was playing in. We're never going to be taken seriously as a continent, unfortunately, because we have this. You would never see, and it's probably the same in every city, but it's always in North America though, because MLS is North American. I cannot see Real Madrid fans cheering Messi when he takes his warm up off and goes to warm up down the line. I can't imagine. I can't imagine that happening. I can't imagine Marseille fans cheering Messi when he takes his warm up off at PSG to go play the game. I can't imagine it. Those are real football fans. I'm here to watch my team play. You're on the other team. You're the enemy. You play well. Fantastic. Great. I get to see you play well. But in the end, I want to beat you. I want to beat you 10-0. And that's not what I got out of the reaction from the stadium that last night. Inter Miami scored a goal. It sounded like TFC just scored a goal in the MLS Cup final. Never going to be taken seriously as a footballing nation on this continent. Never. It's a Fisher Price fan base. Kids and nonsense. I don't know what I would say if I was a player on TFC. I don't know what I would say. I don't know what I would say. Bernadeschi didn't play, suspended, red card. Insigne managed to be healthy for that game, and then guess what? Swap jerseys with Messi. That's the last guy that should get Messi's jersey. Osorio should have got Messi's jersey. And Messi should have looked at him and said, yeah, hold on, number 21 played well today. Let me give it to him. I think Insigne sold our season. Insigne sold our season. If you watch the game before the New York game, the last Saturday's game, when he was one-on-one with the keeper inside the 6 and passed it across to a player that was covered by 2 guys, he sold the season. Probably didn't want to go any further in the playoffs. Sold the season. If they win that game, they're closer to getting into the playoffs. They only have to win one of the last 2 games. Sold the season, Insigne. He's the guy that gets Messi's jersey. Clown club, man. Clown club. This guy better not be on this team next year. That's all I have to say. These guys need to find a way to get rid of him. Bernadeschi can stay. You want to build a team around Bernadeschi? I agree wholeheartedly with you. He works hard. He wants to win. He tries. He's playing with guys that probably aren't on the same level as him. Not probably, are not on the same level as him. And he's trying to keep calm and be patient with them. You can see it. Build it around him. Insigne, gotta go. Sorry to all the Italian fans out there that love the guy. He stinks. He stinks here in TFC. He stinks here in TFC. He stinks. He's got to go. But getting back to the game last night, I don't know, man. If I was Etienne Jr. or Prince Owusu or anybody or even Osorio, like, we need this game. We need our fans behind us, and this is what we get. Clown fan base. Clown fan base. And I hope you guys hear this. If you're TFC fans and you were one of those fans that were cheering for me, I hope you're embarrassed. No respect for that at all. No respect for that at all. Again, you can clap him for 30 seconds, a minute. Okay, great, fantastic. But to go over the top and be fanboys like that, no, I'm good. I'm good. So we have a World Cup coming. Imagine Canada gets grouped with Argentina. They're playing at BMO Field. Are the fans there to cheer on Canada, or are we cheering for Messi? From what I saw last night, the fans are cheering for Messi. We'll see what happens, but I mean, you can't have it both ways. Take us seriously, and then we go out and do Fisher Price antics like that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Embarrassing. I was embarrassed when the guy takes off his warm-up and everybody goes crazy. Embarrassing. But anyways, Osorio played well. Coelho played well. We definitely need a striker. Prince Owusu's not even up to snuff in MLS. He's not. Need a new winger because Insigne should not be back next season. There's people out there that don't like Herdman. I don't mind Herdman. Again, I mentioned it in the beginning of this spiel. Worst team in the league last year. Game away from making the playoffs. A win away from making the playoffs. A win and a draw, I think, actually. Or no, a win away from making the playoffs if certain things happen. So there is progress. The level, the way that they play football is not that bad, actually. They do need to upgrade a couple of positions. Hopefully the new GM and president can take care of that in the offseason. But guys, we have to get behind our team. It would never happen in hockey. Connor McDavid can come to play the Leafs in Toronto. Okay, great. I get to see Connor McDavid play. The only people that would be cheering the goal if he ever scored one against the Leafs would be Edmonton Oilers fans that are in the stands. Nobody in a Toronto Maple Leaf jersey would be standing up applauding. Oh my God, Connor David's coming on. Oh, Connor McDavid's coming on. Oh, he's taking off he's putting on his gloves. He's going to go, oh, like garbage. So this past weekend, the EPL, we'll start in the EPL, getting off that. Status quo at the top of the league. Liverpool still on top. Man City second, tied with Arsenal for second place. Manchester City ahead on goal differential. Chelsea up to fourth. I mean, maybe all the spending at Chelsea actually is coming to fruition, but disappointing draw for them over the weekend, which leaves them in fourth place. If they'd won the game, there would be a three-way tie for second place in the EPL. Aston Villa pulling up the last European spot with Brighton, Newcastle, Fulham, Tottenham, and Nottingham Forest surprisingly rounding off the top 10 in the EPL. There's a specific team you did not hear me mention, and that's Manchester United. Manchester United are really going through it right now. I don't think any coach can come in and fix that. Manchester United fans and pundits alike are Ten Hag has to go. Okay, Ten Hag has to go, but who's coming in to take that over? Oh, we can get Klopp. No, you can't. Klopp is not coming in for that. Not coming in. If Ten Hag wasn't your manager, and this is what I said when Arteta took over, if Arteta's not your manager, don't give him money to spend. So if we watch Arteta buy players and then you get rid of him a year later and now we're stuck with the players that he bought that don't fit the next coach's system or how he wants to play. And then you're going to tell, well, we gave the other manager money, so now there's no money for us to give you. Don't do that. Ten Hag had to be the guy. You gave him all this money to go out and buy players. He bought players. It's still not working. What coach is going to come in? Zinedine Zidane is not coming to coach Manchester United. He's not. Jurgen Klopp is not coming to coach Manchester United. He's not. So who are you going to get? Is there another Messiah that they can get from Pep Guardiola's club? Because everybody on Pep Guardiola's staff is the next Messiah, apparently. So is there anybody there that they can take? I don't know. Don't think so. So right now, I think Manchester United is stuck with Erik ten Hag. They sit 14th in the league, 2 points up on Leicester City, 7 points actually, they're 5 points out of the relegation spots. And I don't see anything changing. I don't see anything changing there. Ten Hag was quoted as saying, we have the players. Once it clicks, you'll see. This ain't going to click. The lights will click off before those guys click on the field. So another international break coming up. Ridiculous. Another one. So 2 weeks, no domestic football. The first game out of the box when we come back from the international break is Liverpool Arsenal at the Emirates. Juicy, tasty, spicy affair. So that should be good to watch. Moving over to La Liga. Not going to be able to stop Lewandowski this year, that's for sure. I believe they played 11 games. He has 10 goals. You're not going to be able to stop him. Barcelona looking well the part of being head and shoulders the best team in that league. Haven't seen a El Clasico yet. Or have we? Can't remember. I did see an El Clasico at the beginning of the season. I can't remember if it was for something else. Maybe it was last year. I don't know. I can't remember. But Barcelona in first place, 3 points up on Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid I don't know. It's just too many draws. Simeone knows this. Too many draws to keep up with those two powerhouses above you. You have to be winning some of those games. Another 1-1 draw today. They scored in the first minute of the game, and then it's just for 89 more minutes. It's just like it's dull. It's no ideas. I don't know. This is not the typical Diego Simeone team. So hopefully they can turn that around. I don't know if it's just too many games in a thin squad. I don't know what it is, but I mean, they looked like in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game, they looked like it was going to be like 8-0. And it turns out 1-1. They give up a goal, I think, in the 89th minute or 84th minute or something like that today. So they have to get those draws out of the way. To round off the next 6, you have Villarreal, Osasuna, and Athletic Club. Girona, last year's surprise team in La Liga, is in 11th place right now. Only 5 points off of the Champions League spots. And there is champion, and they are in Champions League this year. So, yeah, good on them. But we have to look at injuries. So we've had 2 major injuries in the EPL and La Liga, respectively. So we have 2 guys that are major parts of their team on. I'm not going to say. Well, I guess I can say injured reserve. I guess, or on a season-ending injury list. In Rodri, and now Danny Carvajal did his ACL. Same thing that Rodri did a couple of weeks ago. Is it a coincidence that they both play for the Spanish national team that played the maximum amount of games in the Euros and are 90-minute players for their teams as well? I don't know. Is there a coincidence there? Maybe if a third player from that team, from that Spanish national team, gets hurt, same way, season ending with overuse injuries like ACLs and Achilles and things like that, then is it a coincidence? The teams, honestly, I mentioned this last show as well, play way too many games. You're not going to see the best of the players, and the best players are going to end up injured. So this year, when Manchester City doesn't win the league, it's going to be because Rodri got hurt. Arsenal hurt Rodri. That's what it's going to be. Which it shouldn't be, but that's what they'll tell you. So I think this international break is for Nations League qualifying. They should just scrap the Nations League. Who cares? I know it's more money for everyone to steal, for all the big guys and the presidents to steal. I get it. They don't care because they're not playing. And people out there saying these guys are professional footballers, they should be able to play. Yeah, but you can't exert your body to that level 80 times a season. You can't do it. You can't. The only way you're going to get rest in these leagues is if your country calls you and you say, no, can't, I'm hurt, which is what you're going to see a lot of players do now. And do I believe they're hurt? Some, maybe. Kai Havertz pulled out of the Germany squad this international break, so he's not going with Germany. Has a knee injury. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Last international break, Trossard, he has a hamstring injury. No, he didn't. So you're gonna see a lot of players, the day before. Oh, you know what? Ankle, not good, can't come. And that's the only way you're gonna get rest. You play 90-minute game on Saturday. You fly off to play a game on Monday for your national team for 90 minutes. You play another game or whatever, maybe Thursday, and then you play another game Tuesday, and then you come back and train and play Liverpool on Saturday. And you do that every week. And then the next week after that's Champions League. So you play another midweek game, and you play Saturday again, and then you play, you get a week off, and then you play Saturday again, and then there's another international break. Now you got to go play 3 games for your country, then you got to come back and play a game, then it's Champions League again. Guys, you're overworking these guys. I know they make a lot of money. They make a ton of money. But how long are these players going to last? How long are these best players going to last in the league if we overwork them and kill them on the field? So again, Rodri's out for this season. One of the best players, if not the best player on Manchester City, is gone for the season, and Danny Carvajal's gone for Real Madrid. Their left back gone, very instrumental on their team. Gone for the season. So we'll see going down the road if maybe something happens with these tournaments. And it used to just be Champions League, your league, whatever domestic cup in your league, the FA Cup in England, FA Cup or Caribou Cup, whatever it is, and then we play World Cup qualifiers. That's it. But now you got Champions League. You're adding more teams into all these things now, so it's just more games. Like the Champions League format, okay, you made it so that it looks like the Super League that everybody was up in arms over. You made it like that, like a league table. I get it, but there's teams. There's about 10 teams that don't belong in Champions League. About 10 that do not belong in Champions League. It's just more games for your players to get injured in, and we'll leave it at that. Strange things happening in Serie A. If you're a Roma fan, what's going on? So you sack De Rossi, everybody goes crazy. The fans go crazy. Why are you sacking De Rossi? Why are you sacking? You bring in his replacement. He wins 2 games, loses 1, draws 1. Now you want him out. You want to bring De Rossi back. You want to bring De Rossi back. Strange things happening in Serie A. Maybe next week when Joe's on the show, we can get him to tell us what's going on. But strange things are happening there. To top the table in Serie A, we have Napoli 2 points ahead of Inter Milan in second, Juventus in third, tied with Lazio, Udinese, and Milan in 6th place. 2 weeks ago, Milan were in 13th. And Joel was telling me the seasons are over. Season's over already. 4 games in, the season's over. They were in 13th place. Now they're in 6th. They won the Milan derby against Inter Milan 2-1. And by the way, guys, I should really be recording. We all play soccer together Wednesday nights. I should be recording what's being said after the games while we're having a couple of beers. Because the last game we had, by the way, we won our league, everybody. We won the league, won the playoffs, did the double again. I think it's the 3rd or 4th time we've done that in the last 4 years. So congratulations to us. If you guys are out there watching, well done. But we have a lot of Juve fans on our team, 1 Inter fan and 1 Milan fan. And it was just funny to see the 2 Milan, the Inter and the Milan guy just going at it with the Juventus, back and forth. And I'm sitting in the middle of this like tennis, listening. Hilarious. I should have recorded it. Hilarious. Hilarious. But news coming out of Juventus, Paul Pogba has got his 4-year ban reduced to 18 months. So he's eligible to come back, I believe, in March. March coming. But has been said that doesn't want to come back to Juve, or Juve doesn't want him back. So they're finding a way to mutually rip up the contract so he could become a free agent. At 31 years old and someone that hasn't played football in 18 months, I mean, you don't lose all your talent right away. The age doesn't bother me that much because the miles aren't on the body. If you're 31 years old and you've been playing for the last I don't know, 30 years, then sure, or whatever, 25 years, then sure, maybe at 31, his body starts to break down. You don't heal as fast, but he's had the last 18 months off. That's a year and a half off. No traveling. Maybe he's training himself, weightlifting, running, doing that, but there's no grind of a season. And then Champions League, and then Nations Cup, and representing France, and flying here and flying there. There's none of that. So that 31 could be 29 and a half, if you understand what I'm saying. So who would take a chance on him? If he's a free agent, I'm sure there's no transfer fee for him. So who would take a chance on him? Man United? They need midfielders. Think he would come back to England? I don't. PSG? I mentioned, if you don't watch my other podcast, The Clock Enders, it's an Arsenal show. If you don't watch that, go watch that. I broke down PSG. Not the same PSG that we're used to hearing about and seeing. They need midfielders. Maybe he goes back and plays for PSG. Maybe does he slip into Real Madrid? Does he go to Barcelona? Barcelona likes to take players for free. Look, they just signed Wojciech Szczesny on a free. They like free guys. Maybe he goes to Barcelona. So there's a lot of places that he could end up, for sure. If Juventus doesn't want him, even to stay in Italy, would he be good on Inter? Would he be good at Milan, Napoli under Conte? Who knows? So there's a lot of possibilities for him. I think the way Thiago Motta has set up Juve, maybe he doesn't fit. He definitely would have fit Allegri's system, but he's gone. So maybe he doesn't fit. Maybe Thiago Motta doesn't want him, and there's a lot of teams that he would fit on. So very interesting to see where that ends up. So that's all I have this week. Quick, short 30, half an hour. Next week, hopefully Joe will be able to join us and we can dive a little bit more into the TFC and John Herdman and Serie A and get you some more in-depth detail about Serie A. International break this week, so no games, so probably no show for 2 weeks. It's also Canadian Thanksgiving next weekend, so probably no show next weekend or next week. Maybe during the week, if we can if we can match our schedules, we can get Joe in here and we can discuss everything. But I really want to hear his take on what happened at TFC last night, because he's a messy guy. I don't even know if he went to the game. I don't know if he did. He probably didn't, but I can't say for sure. So I'd like to get his take on all of that as well. So hopefully we can get that done. But guys, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. We're on every popular podcasting platform, Spotify. We're on TuneIn. We're on Player FM. We're on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon Podcasts or Amazon Music. We're on every single podcasting platform you use to listen to podcasts, for sure. Obviously, we're on YouTube, as you can see. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Lets me know that people are out there listening and to keep up the good work and keep going. So, guys, I'll see if we can get Joe in next week and do a show midweek. No games next week. So, I mean, you might not see this face for another 2 weeks. Lucky you. So to all my Canadian viewers out there, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks.